Good evening, Mirrorscapers. This is Liger's Eye from the Discord forums. I'm one of the moderators and one of the early beta testers for Mirrorscape. Today I'm going to do just a kind of a let's build video here. I've got a map from Cartographic Chronicles. Got it off of the D&D maps on Reddit. I liked this little map. It's a simple encounter map, but it's got a little nice detail. Path through the forest, trees. Obviously, we've got a stream and a bridge to work with. Something simple, but I think it's got a few little challenges that we'll get into as we're building. So let's get started with just kind of doing a quick once over here of what we're looking at. We've got a stream through the center, basic bridge in this in the center as well. It looks a little short to be an arched bridge, but we'll see what we can do with that. Trees will be pretty simple. We've got some looks like taller rock formations spread throughout, so we got a couple of ideas for that. We'll see how that goes. So with that, set this here to the side for my own reference, and let's see what parts we've got to build with. Obviously, we're looking for some water. So, Fat Dragon has forest river pieces. I think what I'll do is I'll start out just by bringing out a few, see what we've got to work with. No real curves in that. We might be able to use one of those or two of those, but we'll check later. And let's see, here's open water as well. Now, I do see, this is a forest. We've obviously got a path through the center, but it doesn't look like a worn path. I don't know that I will use these paths here. I may just, instead of dirt, I may just go with a regular grass forest base here, especially since our river pieces use that same kind of texture, so we'll bring out a couple of those. Okay, that's a few different things to get started with. So, well, let's go ahead and assemble somewhat of a river here, and just going to take a guess on width here. The map maker, Cartographic Chronicles, did specify 20 by 30 as dimensions. I will tell you right now, I'm not going to follow those dimensions. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I'm going to kind of make this a little bit of my own. I'm going to use their map as a kind of a suggestion, and we'll kind of base everything off of that. Okay, so that's a basic little river, a little stream, and I think what I'm going to do, shortcut it a little bit, just kind of copy and paste some of this together so we have a decent start here. Make it quick. And I should say, this version of Mirrorscape that I'm using is the current PC beta build. If you're randomly coming across this video and have never heard of Mirrorscape, by all means go to mirrorscape.com and check it out. They've got great tool that they've put together here, and it works on mobile as well as PC, and they do have a Mac version in the works. I've actually I've been able to see the Mac beta, but my MacBook is a really old machine, so it struggled a little bit. But they will be coming out with a Mac version as well, along with the PC. But yeah, if you're interested, definitely check them out, and you can find their Discord server as well. And if you're interested in being part of the beta process, just go ahead and ask in the Discord. There's some information, some links to get you started. Okay, so that's a basic start. I may extend here on the sides a little bit. So basic little river here, and so now let's look at kind of the focal point here is going to be the bridge. So what do we have for pieces? So there is, and there are bridge pieces pre-made here. Got a square bridge though. If I use these, not really going to follow the same dimensions here. What we'll do is kind of drop that in the center. Not sure. Let's do this here. I'm going to scale this up. Now I've got a really tall bridge, really low floor here. So I'm not sure, as much as I'd like to use the actual bridge piece, I'm not sure that's going to work. Let me try something else here. I'm just going to pull this to the side briefly. Give you one little trick here. When you're building up against a low floor, you can actually raise up pieces here. Give us a little more room to work with. So let's grab this bridge again. Not perfectly centered, but we can work with that. And I'm going to sink this down here just a little. So that kind of works, but now the problem I'm going to have is I'm going to need to build up a bank of sorts here. I don't think we can scale this up to match. So scale isn't quite right, but I'm just looking to see if that... I don't know if I like that either, because now it's arching down below ground level. Okay, I'm going to try something different yet again. So let's go back, and this bridge piece is basically a square. And is that going to be big enough? Is that just a small one? Not sure that one will do. So I'm going to scroll through here a little bit, looking for some more floor pieces. That's a 4x4. That looks pretty close. Let's give this one a try here. So place this on top. I'm gonna turn the snap off here so I can drop it exactly where I want it. Well, that looks okay from the top. Not sure I like how it just sits right on top of the water. It's supposed to be a bridge over water, not through it. Let's see. So I'm going to set this aside also. Maybe I just give up the idea of trying to match the bridge exactly. We need something to go over the wall or over the water, but still work with the relatively flat terrain. So turn snap back on. Get these two matched up. Zooming in here, just want to see if I can get the pieces a little even. Okay, I am going to back away, set these to the side, get them lined up on the ground floor, so to speak. Make sure they're both down. Snap it back on. Okay, that's a little bit better. So over the water. So that's a little bit better. I'd like to see if I can get these more flush with the ground. Okay, let's drop this all back down. Okay, so since I've used the scale to bump up the bridge, got a little disconnection here, so select just these river pieces again. By bringing them up. Yes. So close. They are talking about doing fine adjustment in upcoming versions, so that would be a little bit easier if we could bump that just halfway in between where it was setting. But otherwise, I think that looks okay. I do have a little bit of bleed over here on the shore, so let's see if we can scale this just a tad so that blends in a little better. Kind of split the difference there. That's pretty good. I can live with that. So don't have the square bridge, but at least we have a bridge. And maybe I'll, when we add the torches, I'll try to do that in the center to give that square in that design here. Okay, so basic river, and I do notice, nope, I don't have to rotate that. So the river itself is at a bit of an angle. We'll keep that angle, and what we'll do is, as we're filling in some of the ground pieces, we'll try to keep that a little more aligned with the image itself. We should be able to overlap these pieces with the river a bit. If it gets to be a challenge, I can easily just straighten everything out. And we'll do a little bit of copy paste here. I don't want it to be a repeating pattern, but I do want to take advantage of being able to copy and paste some of this. So we'll throw in some randomness here and there. Split this up a little bit where we need to. So that's about right. Okay, now what I need to do is I'm actually going to go into settings and take the rotate snap off for at least a little bit. That way, when I move them into place, they won't try to stick to what's already on the map. Raise that. And if we've got the space, let's go ahead and close that gap. Okay, not super clean, but it's something we can definitely work with here. So let me grab a few more horizontal pieces. Copy paste. Yes, there are hotkeys. Should probably talk about the interface a little bit more. So yeah, on the PC, they are using several different hotkeys. Some you're quite familiar with, Control-C, Control-V for our copy paste. And that comes in very handy. Now this one, I think we can go ahead and just drop and blend in. Lose a little bit of that grid pattern, but frankly, I'm okay with that. The system itself, when you place your pieces onto the virtual table, your minis do come equipped with a measurement tool of sorts, so that when you place them, you can use your mouse cursor and identify what distances are from your mini to any specific spot on the map. Makes it a lot easier than sitting here trying to count grid lines on the pieces. Okay, let's rotate. There we go. So that's our 90-degree vertical we're trying to hit. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit, because while I don't necessarily have to have the grid lines, I will say there are parts of building that it makes sense to have those. Okay, so we got that basic frame set up. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but it does actually matter where you grab the piece or where it drops. When I first was trying to place this here, I had grabbed the piece from this top left corner, so it was trying to align with these pieces. Once I grabbed it from the bottom right, it knew to align with what I have on the bottom here already. Let's see. Probably fit a couple more in. Yeah, we may need to overlap just a little, so I'm gonna come back here and grab a different set. And we're gonna line up with what's already there on the riverbank. Turn that snap off here. And we'll just kind of squeeze that in, drop it. Blends in. Not too bad. I know it's there. You know it's there. Your players may not care. Not too bad there. Okay, let's grab 22. Yeah, just 2. Okay, so that filled that in pretty well. Okay, so now we've got a basic structure, forest floor around the bridge. And let's try to even stuff out here just a little bit. I'd like it if I could be a little more random on my riverbanks. Wonder if, looking at the original image, on the right-hand side, it narrows a bit. So let's see if we can kind of force that into place. Bring those in a little bit. Now, I did say we might use some of the other riverbank pieces. I'll look at those, see if I'm inspired to do something a little better. So there's a couple of inner curves and an outer curve. So I'll just play around here a little, see if I get any ideas. Well, if we continue off to the side, add a little texture to the riverbank. Could try. Let's see. Try this. Pull one of these out. Okay. Yeah, that adds a little bit of texture to it. Of course, we do have this little gap here, so let me. See, I'm going to zoom in here real close so I can see where the lines are. We want to eliminate the seams wherever we can. Very touchy, very touchy. Okay. So now we do have a gap there, but fortunately we can take these centerpieces are just straight water, and we can either copy it and kind of paste it over, or we can expand the existing piece. There we go. Now, yeah, I always forget that when you expand the piece, you're expanding in all dimensions. So now you see we've increased the width and the length, but we've also increased the height. So I'm going to undo that. I think my original plan was to copy and paste, so we're going to do Control-C, Control-V, and then just drop this one into place. Not too bad. So yeah, that did add nice little texture here to the riverbank. We can do that in a few more places here. Let's see what else. We can take this one, and I'm going to pair these up and place them together. So it's the same kind of texture, but it's the opposite bank, and that might be enough to disguise it as being used elsewhere already. It will help too. I can take adjacent pieces here and kind of break that up a little bit. And let's clean that up a little bit. Okay, guess I'm gonna call this the right-hand edge of the map, at least for now. So I'm trying to get a little bit of a straight edge. Okay, I can come back and fix that other part later. Okay, let's look at the other side of this this little stream, little river here. I'm going to pull the original map in just to get a better look here. So it looks like it flares out just a little bit, so we will do that as well. And let's see, I'm going to borrow this one again. Looking at the original image, I want to get super detailed here. It does actually flare out just a little bit about there. Okay, I'm going to turn snap back on here. I'm going to get this lined up here because it looks like. Yep, snap's having a little trouble here. So I've put too many pieces around it. It's not sure exactly what the heck I'm trying to do here. snap back off and bring back this other piece. Again, I'm going to reuse a couple pieces over here and repeat on this side a little. I'm not going to copy this bump that I made. But I do still want it to widen that river a little bit. Okay. So let's see. I'm seeing some seams here. So I do need to adjust the height a bit. That's a little better. Same on this side. Looks like I placed these a little low. There we go. Okay, now I need these to fill in the pieces. Now, because I'm placing some of these on top of one another, they're going to stack rather than just defaulting to the level that we're building on. Adjust that here in just a second. Okay, that all blends together pretty well. Now I've got some gap in the forest floor. Let's see what we can do for that. So it looks like a few of these pieces are a little off. Okay. Let's zoom back a little bit. It's not looking too bad. I do see my my river is not quite centered here with the bridge, but I think we just need to literally copy and paste here to move it to the side a little bit. Snap back on so at least get some matching up with the grid. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm okay with that. Again, I'm not trying to go for an exact match, but it definitely gives the effect. So let's start building out the rest of the forest floor. Now I'm doing this rotate again just to kind of break up the pattern, and depending on how picky you are about what these wind up looking like, you can definitely go back and spin individual pieces. I turned off rotate snaps. I'm switching that back on here so these line up correctly. But yeah, any of these you can just grab a single piece, rotate it so you're at least breaking up some of the obvious pattern that you've got out on the floor here. And we'll just keep mixing stuff up. Why not? And I'm going to throw this one up here. Okay. So I think we're about ready to do some trees. Let's. I'm going to clear the floor here of a few pieces. I do want to throw in some random rocks. That forest piece with the log on it, but first I want to fill in with some foliage. So we got 3 different regular trees, and looking at this map, I don't see any evergreens, so we may not need any of those. I do see a kind of unusual looking tree. I've got an idea for something that we might actually be able to use one of these dead trees. I'm going to make a new forest variety of our own here, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. So some plants to go on the forest floor. Oh, definitely some rocks. We will be using these quite a bit. Okay. So that was all the fat dragon forest pieces. Let's see. Recall who else might have something we can use here. But some of these. Yeah, that'll definitely help fill in. So we'll grab some of these pieces out here too from Fat Dragon. Or no, Dwarf Forge. Oh, don't get mad. Yeah, I'm sure there's some people who would say, well, I shouldn't be mixing Dwarven Forge and Fat Dragon parts, but they do all work well together. Let's see. Okay, I think that's probably going to be all the pieces that we need left. So let's grow a forest here. Based on this scale, and we can use trees pretty much in whatever density we want. The other nice thing is too, is we've only got 3 basic trees to choose from. It does make it a little redundant using them over and over again. But we can take advantage of scaling too. That'll let us blow the trees up. So even though it may be the same design right next to one another, the tree is going to look a little different because it's going to be a different size. Got some bank here. And one discussion we see, or that I've seen a couple of times, is with these trees. Okay, so they've got their base. Do you leave the base exposed, or do you like to hide them? Personally, I like to hide them. Similar to, it's nice having the grid lines to line stuff up, but ultimately, I don't really want to see all those grid lines if I don't have to. Likewise with the tree bases, I think I'd prefer to not see them. A little better immersion when those circles aren't too visible. So again, kind of an approximation of what's on the riverbank. I do see that the tree line goes a little closer to the bridge on that side. So let's bring in a couple more here. Just copy this one, bring it over, and again, we'll use the scaling to kind of disguise the fact that we're reusing the same models. Rotate, give it a little different perspective. Of course, the smarter way to do this too is just to lay out all the trees, select them all, and then drop them to hide the base. But I was not thinking. Turn the other way here. Really, we can just keep filling in trees here. Okay, so let's do this. Select a few at a time and drop them. That's a little better. never really sure how dense to make some of these. From above, you'd think there's no clearing whatsoever, but from ground level, there may be. And I guess that would be up to you as the designer, how you want to interpret that, make it fit whatever area you're in at the time. Lost my select. Well, it looks like I can probably scale some of these up a little. And I can probably hear a few of you saying, no, wait, you're not doing it right, which is fine. I'm just doing it the way that I want to do it, and you can definitely do it the way you want to. And that's one thing I really like about Mirrorscape. It makes it so easy to place things how you want them, and there's so many different options. Everything is super flexible, easy to work with. Okay. Nope, I don't think I want that thing in there. So let's drop this one on the other side. Okay, and I can fiddle with these all day, but I'm not looking to get too picky on these. So, looking at what we've got here, we should probably focus a little on some of the rocks now. We've got this one feature on the left-hand side, kind of the south bank of the river. Looks like a pretty tall piece of stone there. And that is going to be a little small. So what I think I'm going to do is take these pieces and let's see, let's just copy them for now. And over to this side. There we go. That's a little easier to work with. Zoom in a little too. So I think what I'm going to do is take this piece, scale it up to about what the scale that's on the map, and drop that in. That should be a little better. Actually, it's over on the bank itself. And perhaps stack these as we go. Because we're stacking them, we can kind of hide some of the texture. Although I do see that's going to cause kind of layer lines. Not sure I like that. drop that, gets rid of the layer lines, but then we also have more height to make up for. Yeah, maybe we reinterpret how the other stones work here. Okay. Well, let's take a quick look. I don't remember if there's other stones in here or not. Perhaps I overlooked some. Well, I may be getting one of my... Yeah, where I've got the loop bug. So yeah, one of the bugs they're trying to squash right now. You'll see, like this piece here, the library here, the inventory repeats rather than showing the whole thing. There's a couple of ways you can click yourself out of it. Try that here, see if it fixes it. Go into the store briefly and then back to the library. Okay, so that's the top. Let's make sure I'm not missing any decent rocks here. These are the 3 that I grabbed already. Well, cavern pieces do have stone pieces, but the theme is a little bit off. I'd really like that limestone colored rock. So it does look like that's going to be my best option for stone. So let's see what we can do to work with what we're using here. Take these back off, and I'm going to try actually just blowing this up some more. Maybe we can make up for the layer lines here by increasing the size of the piece. Let's see, turn snap off for this. Definitely don't need snap when I want to tightly align the stones here. Now, still kind of seeing those layer lines. Okay, so I think instead of going for the altitude here on these stones, we're just gonna go for a basic idea. Same but different. I should also add on the scaling. Once you take a piece out and you scale it, every time you make a copy of it and paste it, it will be identical. It'll be where you left it in terms of scaling. But if you want a new one out of the original size, then you just come back into your library, select, and drag it out, and it's back to its original size. Overlap. Lost my select. I'm going to overlap these. Maybe hide some of the layer lines that way. So it blends into the layer below. And that's one way we can make up for the altitude. No, need fine adjustment there. A bit better. Yep. Wrap that on top. It's not pretty, but definitely gives you the right idea. And so looking back at our original, got more stones here on the bottom, and then a big one up here in the trees. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit here. The group. Okay, so get some of the trees out of the way here. Okay, that's a little better. Not super happy with the stonework, but again, it gets the idea across. So this bottom half, trees look a little different, and it almost looks like there's a lot more ground cover. So I think I'm going to switch, or add in a few extra of these pieces that I brought out. Definitely like these. I can see adding a whole bunch of these to the forest floor to really give you that feeling that there's all sorts of ground cover. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so we can probably just take this and start lying on the floor with it. It's also occurring to me that this would be a good difficult terrain to throw at them. That's a good base. So, like before, we'll grab some trees here. Got this ground cover, and now that I'm satisfied with it, I think what I will do is create some bigger clumps. Leave some of these a little higher than others. Gives a little more natural look when there's some variation there. Okay, so I want to try something here. I alluded to this before. Also got some tree stumps that we can throw in here. What I'm thinking about is on part of this map, there's some trees that look just a little different. Zoom in here. So I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be tree-wise. It's definitely not one we've been using. And I see some of these others have some more exposed branches. And what I'm thinking, like I said, we'll give this a try. It may not work. What I'm thinking is taking one of these dead trees perhaps and giving it some leaves. And what we're going to do is use these guys here. This may not work. These little plants are really meant to be at floor level, ground level, so I don't know if we stick them up in the branches, if that's really going to work or not. Of course, the first thing I need to do for this to work is turn off the wind. Wind amount. So, yeah, the little animation that they added to this specifically for the trees is show the wind. And before I do that, let me just highlight that a little bit. So you notice that all the trees sway just a little bit, and they don't sway all at the same time, but generally the same direction. So it gives you the illusion that there's a breeze moving across. But of course, we can also raise this up quite a bit. If we want gale force winds, then they're going to be moving quite a bit. But in this case, I want this trick to work. So we're going to turn the wind off. That way, this little bush sitting in the tree branch actually looks like it's part of the tree. And the tree's not swaying around underneath it. This might be more work than it's worth. We'll see if this gives us the effect I'm hoping it will. Of course, the real measure here is what is it going to look like from the player's perspective on the ground. It's not too bad from here. I don't know why I look at this and I think of Dr. Seuss. Okay, well, let's see what this looks like for real. So let me drop the level there, the build grid, and I'm going to copy this. Keep the original in place in case we do actually want to use it again. And let's try dropping it in. Looks like, approximately here. How does that work? Can you maybe scale it up a little bit? Yeah, I don't know. Might work okay. I mentioned getting the player's perspective, so let's do that real quick. Let's see what it's looking like for the players. And I'm going to bring out my favorite little mini here, and that's Billy. Billy the human. Billy is a little kid. No idea his age, but he's got a backpack, so obviously he's coming home from school through the deep forest here. Scale-wise, Billy is definitely short. But let's see what it looks like from his perspective. That's not too bad. And I'll take a look up at the tree. Ah, artist signature. That's not too bad. I think we can work with that. So let's scroll out from Billy's perspective here and let's see, I think obviously we can move them by hand. And there's a measuring tool. So he's a slow kid. He can only get 20 feet at a time. But I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's keep going here. We will back out of his perspective here. If I can remember the right keystroke for that. There we go. Control P for those of you keeping track. Well, let's come back over to my special tree here and let's make another copy. Where else did we see that? Over on the side. We can rotate that one a little bit. Make that one smaller. And for a little variety, we'll try making one with this other dead tree. Yep. Okay, I like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm using Control V to paste the same little plants over and over again, but I am targeting where I want with the mouse. So I'm just placing the mouse there. I'm not clicking or anything, but then Control V will place that exactly where it does make it go quite a bit faster. But I don't want the same little one again. So let's copy this one a couple times. I have to adjust the build plane a little bit because I moved that one out of its spot. And maybe let's try copying that and just stick it in the side like that. Does that work okay? Yeah. Yeah, gives it a little more depth. Okay, I like that. So I'm actually going to copy this and scale this one up. Oops. Start overlapping pieces, you get lose a little bit of control of where things go. realize now I lost something, didn't I? I put those pieces on the side, but when I selected, copied, it left them behind. So we will just do this. I'll even shrink that one down a little bit, shrink that one too. I do like that, so I'll do this with this tree as well. Oops. Okay. And looking back to my original picture, there's another couple spots here. We can reuse these. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So what else do I want to fill in here? Still use a few more trees here and there. Now I have been expanding the trees scale, but I haven't actually tried lowering the scale. Let's see what little variety there. That's not too bad. Use that to fill in some more spots. So I haven't used all these pieces yet. Give it a little bit of flavor and throw some of these in. How detailed you want to get, obviously, is up to you. I do like the hotkeys here makes it so quick and easy to drop the same pieces in over and over again. I also like these little bushes because they're good for hiding any little flaws that you may have in your map here. Speaking of, I did catch something earlier. I bet this has been driving some of you nuts. Still not quite right. I think I may have copied a resized piece. Looks like there's some alignment issues here as well. Yeah, that's enough. Enough for that. So, oh, torches. We need torches. Actually, let's filter this. Drop type. We want lights. Oh, I think that will plug us back. There we go. Here's our lights. So we could just put torches on the sides, or hopefully these braziers might work. Think like that kind. So let's work with this a little bit. Straighten it out and rescale it. I think that's about right. So let's copy that. Paste. That's not quite in the right spot. Yep, not quite symmetrical. Gotta keep it symmetrical. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so let's clear some of these pieces out. And since we've got torches, it should probably be a little darker out. Yeah, there we go. Billy, these are kind of scary woods, but we'll get you home. I think we're about done here. There's a lot more we could do. Oh, I just thought of something. Let's raise everything. Oops. No, thank you. Skip tutorial. Apparently I've not used that function before. So, reselect map, raise everything up. So something I forgot about the water assets. By default, they have a dark color to the water, which of course implies pretty deep water. But we found out pretty early on when we got our hands on the pieces during beta that you could place other tiles underneath the water and change the color. So I'm not going to do this for the whole stream, but I do at least want to show you you've got some options. Now, what am I looking for? There was a stone square I grabbed right early on. Oh, this one. Stone. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy a few of these, paste them. Row here, just to give you an idea of what you can do to play with the watercolor color, or the color of the water rather. So the original map has a pretty light color blue on it. We can actually take advantage of these pieces. Select here, and I will drop them under the water, and that lightens up the water a little bit. And also I think the depth may play into that, but if you want a slightly different tint, play with tiles underneath the water, and you can get a couple of different effects. One of the other moderators, builders, he actually laid out a whole grid, showed what each piece looked like underneath each layer of water to get different effects. It was pretty impressive. So, okay, let's go back to Billy one more time here and just kind of take a look around. So it was a bit of a quick build, but that's not too bad. So I thank you for joining me. I do want to make more of these videos, and I'll get a little more intricate on some of the builds. I did want this one to be pretty simple. There's a lot more work that I could put into this. Fill out the forest floor a little bit more. I think I'd want the trees to be a little more dense as well. Shrinking them down might be a good way to fill that in, especially if you want to create a visual border that the minis can't see through. And of course, you can always make the map much larger than they would actually use. But just wanted to show you some options that you've got with this. And please, by all means, if you're not already on our Discord, come find us. We'll be happy to show you the ropes and get you set up in the Mirrorscape hub, and get you set up on the PC beta test. If you are on iOS or Android devices, that app is already in open beta. You can download those from the App Store and Play Store, respectively. But they all link. So if you are on an iOS device and your players are on PC or Android, you can still all get into the same game, and you will you'll share your assets with the players when you share the maps with them. So that's all for now, and we will see you scapers later.